For real, I'm so pissed off.
I can't stand that stupid Anthony.
Dummy.
I hate him. How can I live in a place like that? It's suffocating.
Hey, calm down, Brittany. Don't tell me you and Anthony were fighting again?
What's with that?
Why are you giving me the cold shoulder?
You should feel bad for me. I'm not fighting with him because I want to. It's his fault that he's always making me angry. What else am I supposed to do? Pretend I'm fine?
Sorry that I can't be a saint, Katie.
Whoa there, chill. Don't take your anger out on me. You probably were just acting like a brat and put him in a tough spot. Right? That's how all your fights go. You two are always arguing about one thing or the other.
You're wrong. I'm telling you, this time it's definitely not my fault. It's all his fault.
I only told him that I wanted to have a wedding before my 30th birthday.
Is that so wrong? I'm not asking for much, yet he was just so cruel to me. He got really mad, asking why I'd come out of the blue and demand that of him? As if it was unreasonable.
Huh, you guys had a fight about marriage?
We're both turning 30 next year, you know?
Shouldn't it be natural that I'd want to bring up marriage? I wouldn't have dreamed that he'd be so upset with me. It's unbelievable.
I'm not playing anymore.
This time, I'm leaving for sure.
I'm going back to our parents' house.
Whoa, wait, hold on. Don't tell me you're coming over here?
What choice do I have? I don't want to see Anthony's ugly face right now.
From today on, I will not be coming home until he's given me a proper apology for his behavior. So go and get my room ready.
Even with the heads up, that's easier said than done. You know we don't have a room to prepare for you anymore. We demolished your old room. WV Adam UVM Company 1 Com Lawrence C Lalayo Adal year. Right now, this house is meant to accommodate our parents, my husband and me. There isn't room for a fifth person.
No matter how many changes you guys make, that house still belongs to me too.
Also, I wasn't asking for your permission. Our parents already told me I'm allowed to stay there for as long as I want, so take that.
No way, are you serious? And they were totally okay. W Vidamis.
That's right, so prepare my room for me. It better be ready by the time I get there lol, and don't forget to pass the word on to that lousy husband of yours. 1 hour later.
Katie, is it true that your sister's coming back to live with us?
I just heard about it from your mom.
Yeah, you got it right. She is, unfortunately. It seems she had another fight with Anthony, and she's made up her mind to leave. Of course, there was no way I was gonna let her over here, so I tried to refuse her, but my parents apparently gave her the okay. Without telling us. Kinda annoying, but whatever.
So that's how it is.
Your mom suddenly told me to lend her my room since she was gonna be coming back. She didn't tell me the how or why of anything, so it was a big shock.
That's why I wanted to ask you directly to be sure I was hearing right.
You've gotta be kidding. She's saying you should hand over your room?
It's sad, but that's how it is for me.
In this house, I'm only the son-in-law, remember?
I'm like a second-class citizen here. You and your family take high priority.
What are you talking about? This house also belongs to you and me. You have as much right to it as I do. We're the ones paying off the loan my parents took out to fund the renovations. I can't believe they'd have the nerve to make you give up your room for her. You shouldn't have to do that. I absolutely won't let that happen. It's not fair.
Thanks, Katie. I really appreciate it.
My little sister Brittany can sleep in the living room for all I care. She'll make up with Anthony and be back within a few days, so there's no need for her to get too comfortable. She's always been such a brat. The sofa should be plenty for someone like her.
I hope so, but man, I don't know. I feel like she's going to start living at home for real.
Why do you think so?
To be honest, Anthony and I went out drinking last night.
What, really?
See, we both like fishing, so that's one hobby we have in common, and our companies are pretty close to each other, so it's not unusual for us to go home around the same time. Whenever we happen to run into each other, we go out for a drink or two.
That's news to me.
I lend him an ear whenever he has a fight with Brittany and needs to air his woes out somewhere. But yesterday, he seemed particularly down, like I think it seemed kinda serious.
It was the first time I'd ever heard him say that he wants to break up. You know?
What?
From the look on his face, it was something he had been thinking hard about. Makes sense.
He's not the kind of guy to say that out of nowhere if he didn't mean it. If they can't make up and get back together, then that'd mean Brittany would have to start living with your parents long term.
If I'm remembering right, Anthony's the one who's renting that apartment they're living at. Separate ways. She'd be the one, so if they break up and go rare, who'd get kicked out. If that's the case, then it's really not a stretch to think that we might all start living together, huh?
Rather, that'd be her only choice, so it'd become the 5 of us, Brittany, you and your parents, and me.
Just the thought of that fills me with dread. It's hard to think about. Living like that would be suffocating, and I'd hate it. But I can only imagine how much worse it'd be for you.
Yeah, it'd be like hell on earth.
Though I have a proposal for you.
What do you say about taking this as an opportunity to move out? If that's all right by you?
Say what? Even though this house was just renovated?
I understand that it feels like a waste, but to be frank, I think it'd be too difficult for the 5 of us to live together.
I don't know how to put it, but
ever since they finished up the renovations, living here hasn't felt the most comfortable. If anything, your parents' attitude toward me has been pretty cold.
What?
Before the renovations were finished, they'd say their thanks every now and then and were nice to me, but there isn't any of that anymore. And they take my respect for granted since I'm the son-in-law.
They think I'm just supposed to be like this.
I mean, it's true we should be considerate of our in-laws, but haven't they heard that respect is earned, not given?
I feel like they've been brazenly pushing me around and expecting me to deal with it without complaint. But, like, I'm not their doormat.
You've been feeling that way too? Then it seems we're in the same boat.
Wait, really?
Yeah. When we first started living together, we took care of one another and everything was good for a while. Maybe it's that they got too used to living with us. Or maybe they just treat us like crap for no good reason now. The house is still in their name because they refused to hand it to us. But we're the ones paying off the loan on top of all our living expenses. And yet, they flaunt about the fact that they're the official owners of the house and treat us like garbage. They act like they're better than us. I guess that's also why they thought it was okay to give Brittany their permission without talking to us first. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing that gets me the most. It's not like we asked to live here. They're the ones who begged for us to come live with them.
I'm not saying they should treat me like royalty here, but treating me rudely is not it either. We're really being used here, huh?
All right, it's decided. Clearly, this is a good opportunity for the both of us, so let's aim our sights on moving out of my parents' house.
For real?
Well, granted, it all hinges on whether or not Brittany is really gonna stay with them. But there's a high chance of that happening, so let's go ahead and start looking for a place.
A month later.
Hey sis, I'm going out on a date to make up with Anthony.
So in the meantime, can you get out of the house?
Say what now?
You see, Anthony and I are gonna go on a date.
And we're going to get back together again. And so, I was thinking I was gonna invite him to live with me at our parents' house.
Why would getting back together lead to you inviting him here? You have your own apartment.
Anthony and I talked things over a little, and you know what I found out?
Apparently he hasn't been saving up at all, so he doesn't have a penny to spare on our wedding. Silly Anthony.
He felt like a pathetic excuse of a man, so he took that frustration out on me when I didn't deserve it, lol.
So I had a total eureka moment.
If he doesn't have the money to spend on our wedding, why not just stay at my parents' place and save up?
Excuse me?
So like, the apartment that he's renting right now is like super expensive.
If I remember right, it's like $2,500 a month. But if we stay with my parents, that money isn't draining out of our bank account anymore, so saving is gonna be a breeze.
You guys are really in the way of our plans, so I need you both to get the hell out.
This is our house too. That's why we did a bunch of remodeling on the house this year.
I'm so sorry, but my degenerate sister and her loser husband have no right to complain.
Wow. How dare you talk to me like that?
I can talk to you however I want. My Anthony is one of the elites at a big important company. Even you know that, right? You're not that dumb.
He's the most accomplished amongst his peers, and he's already raking in a good $80,000 a year.
We're on a totally different level than you and your worthless husband, who are nothing but pathetic public servants with piss-poor wages.
Don't go talking trash about us just because we're public servants. You don't understand how good it is to have a stable job.
Ah, are you an idiot?
I take back what I said earlier, maybe you are that dumb.
Anyone knows that it's money over a stable job. What are you?
A couple of old farts?
Get a grip and see reality already. Even our parents know that. That's why they're being so cooperative with me.
They'll do anything to make sure their daughter marries someone filthy rich.
They'd rather live with us than with you two, lol.
What are you saying?
So that's why you trashy lot should get lost already.
They've given up on you.
No matter how much time passes by, you guys won't have kids. Mom and Dad have been treating you guys like the pests you are. Haven't you two noticed?
Get a clue. You're a blight on society and completely useless to them. Childless. Truly, you're nothing but the lowest of the low. Absolute garbage human beings. We're young with a promising future, which is totally different than you wastes of space.
You really don't know when to stop running your mouth, huh? Who the hell do you think you are? And that goes for our parents too. You know what though? I guess I shouldn't be surprised. You've always been like this. You haven't grown up past middle school, and it shows.
Whatever, shut up and pack your bags already. I'm gonna be living here with my boyfriend, so scram. We don't have room for lowly peasants like you, lol.
Fine, I'll leave you guys to it.
Good riddance. Don't you ever come back.
Starting today, this house belongs to those of us who actually have a bright future. Oh, and Mom and Dad too, I guess.
Roger that, little sis. I'll leave the loan payments to you and your bright futures too then. Your useless and unproductive sister and her husband will be moving to a lovely new apartment sooner than you can blink.
What?
You're saying you're in debt?
You know how we renovated the house this year, right? In case you've been living under a rock, we took out a loan to cover the costs.
What, you did? You didn't pay for it all at once?
Initially, it was only about $30,000 to refurbish the bathroom, kitchen and stuff. We could have covered that. An opportunity to make extra, but our parents used this as changes here and there. So it easily climbed up to over $80,000. In the end, we had to get a loan.
Wait, so now we're gonna have to pay it off? It's our parents' house, so this is something they should do themselves, right?
Actually, it was Zach and I who were paying that for them. So now that we're leaving, I'll be passing the torch to you. Good luck, sis.
Don't screw with me.
The whole reason we're moving in is to save up. I thought if we went to our parents' house, we wouldn't have to spend a single cent. If that's how it is, then there's no point bothering.
Hey now, that's not true. We went over our budget with the renovations to be sure, but we're only paying about $400 a month. Covering that should be easy peasy for you two. You're paying $2,500 every month for your current place already.
Or, what the heck? So it's only $400 a month. Don't scare me like that. You surprised me by coming out of nowhere with a whole talk about debt, but if it's that little, covering that will be a piece of cake.
It's way less than what we're paying in rent, so we can still save up a ton, no problem.
So you can sleep easy and live with your lovey-dovey boyfriend at our parents'. Have fun on your date. In the meanwhile, we'll be leaving.
2 hours later. This is unbelievable. We were supposed to make up, but he dumped me instead?
Why?
How did this happen? Please help me, sis.
What?
I thought we were gonna go on a date and make up there. I was practically skipping on my way to the cafe where we were supposed to meet.
I was feeling pretty good about it.
But as soon as I got there, he dumped me.
He said there's no way he could marry me and that we should break up. How cruel does he have to be to shatter my heart like that?
What am I gonna do? I'll be 30 next year. What a shame. You were supposed to have such a bright future. So much for that, huh? But in my opinion, it was only a matter of time before you got dumped. The things you've said and done have led to that. I suggest you reflect on that yourself.
Excuse me? What is that attitude? The hell do you mean it was a matter of time? All I said was that I wanted a wedding. What's so wrong about wanting to have a wedding with my boyfriend?
But didn't you say you were fine with not having a wedding?
Huh?
You were fine without a wedding. That a marriage certificate would be enough. That's what I heard you said to Anthony. Yet you went and suddenly changed your mind, saying actually, I do want a wedding after all. Of course he's gonna panic.
Why the hell do you know what I've been talking about with my boyfriend?
Because I heard it straight from the source.
What?
It seems you told him you'd rather spend money on a nice apartment instead of a wedding. A wedding only lasts for a day and then it's over, but a good home lasts longer. That's what should be more important. Don't you remember saying that to him? That's why he did his best and worked hard to rent a nice apartment just like you wanted. But then you went back on your word and said you wanted a wedding after all. Of course that'd be troubling for him.
What do you mean troubling? A wedding is every girl's dream.
Why should I feel bad about it? If I get to live in a nice apartment, of course I'm going to start wanting a wedding. It's the next best thing, so it's only natural.
I can't help it.
Is this how you were like to him every day too? Fighting and bickering? Making him feel like he was in the wrong? He was only pointing out the inconsistencies between what you said back then and what you're saying now. And you blew up at him every time. That'd get old for anyone real fast. He was seriously hitting his limit. Honestly, I'm shocked he held out this long.
I wasn't blowing up at him. I was only telling him my hopes and dreams. Should I have kept them to myself? Is that what you're saying?
Besides, why the hell is he complaining about me to you?
He didn't to me, actually. It's to my husband Zach. I only happened to hear about it from him.
What?
You know how they have similar hobbies and get along well, right? Sometimes they go out drinking and they talk about their problems there. So I heard about a lot of it through my husband. You've also said things like, I don't even need a ring. But then this year you started eyeing on a ring that's worth thousands of dollars.
What?
You even heard that?
Yep. And also that you were wanting to become a housewife. You said you wanted to work too. But then you changed your mind, right? So you're going back on your word with so many things. It's really throwing him through a loop. Those are the kinds of things he said to Zach, apparently. Don't you feel bad for him?
So what? I can't help it if my dreams or my way of thinking changes over time.
It's true that I didn't want a ring and that I was okay with working too, but I don't feel that way anymore.
Now I want a ring.
And
don't want to work.
I want to be housewife and live an easy life. If he's a man, he should be happy to grant the every wish of his girlfriend.
If he can't, then he's just a pathetic loser.
A pathetic loser? You'd really say something so horrible like that about him? He did grant your wishes, didn't he? You said you didn't want anything, that just a nice apartment was fine. To fulfill his girlfriend's dreams, he paid $2,500 a month for a wonderful apartment, all just for you. He prepared everything. He got new furniture and appliances to go with the new place. And it seems you had him pay thousands of dollars out of pocket without contributing a single cent.
And? So what? I never asked him to pay for it all. He did that on his own. I shouldn't feel responsible for what he chose to do himself.
That's right. And as a man, I'm sure he worked hard to pay for all of it. How about you, Brittany? What exactly have you done to work toward your future together with Anthony?
Me?
If you make him do everything, then you guys aren't a real couple. You're just playing Eichsicklalen. But once you're married, that isn't gonna work anymore. A marriage isn't all sunshine and rainbows. You're a team. You have to work together to fulfill your dreams. Anthony doesn't want to marry someone so dependent that he has to carry her on his back. At that point, it isn't cute anymore. It's a burden.
Shut up. I didn't ask for a lecture.
Don't go acting like a know-it-all just because you're already married.
Brittany.
What? In short, he just wasn't man enough. That's all it is. It's his own fault that he doesn't have the cash to do anything. He has no one to blame but himself, and if that's the case, then I just need to find someone better and marry him instead, and I'll be set for life.
Your brain has really rotted to the core. Like a brat like you will find a man better than Anthony.
I'll show you. There's plenty of fish in the sea. It'll be walk in the park.
I'm younger and cuter than you, so I guess it's hard for you to understand, but I'm way more desirable.
I'll find a man who'll support me and pay off the loan. I'm gonna find him super easy. So just sit back and watch. 1 week later. Sis, please help me. At this rate, I'm gonna have to marry an old man.
What? How did things come to that?
Our parents were absolutely livid that Anthony dumped me. They flipped out, demanding to know how were we going to pay off the loan now. They're so mad it's scary.
Oh, but I thought you were going to find a man even better than Anthony soon, weren't you? So you should just tell them to relax and wait.
Of course I said that, but Dad refused to believe that. Like hell we can wait. He was absolutely fuming, so they went and arranged a blind date for me without my permission. Can you believe that?
Even worse, it's going to be with a bald 40-year-old man. Our parents? Doing something without permission?
Say it isn't so. Though I heard many bald men are actually pretty mild-mannered and decent. Good for you. No way. What's good about this? I'm still in my 20s, you know. I shouldn't have to marry a crusty old baldy with 1 foot in the grave. That's ridiculous, no matter how good his earnings. I can't cope with that. Not with a baldy. Anything but that.
4.
So please come and help me, sis.
Huh? If you guys come back and live with our parents, everything will go back to the way it was.
Things only came to this because they're worried about the loan.
So get back over here and pay it all off the way you were doing before.
And I won't have to go on that blind date either.
It's a win-win for everybody.
I see. But sorry, Brittany. My husband and I have started living in this really nice apartment, so we honestly don't want to go back.
What?
And, see, we're in the middle of a housewarming party to celebrate. Anthony and Zach brought back a ton of fish that they caught themselves. We hired a personal chef and everything, so the 3 of us are having a seafood party without you.
What? You're telling me Anthony is with you?
Of course. Even if you two broke up, Zach and him are total besties. It seems they were even closer than we realized. Who knew? I'm heading over there ASAP.
So tell me where you are. I'll go there right now.
I want to have a seafood party and eat yummy food too, and this time I'll make everything right again with Anthony.
Like hell I'm telling you our location, and I won't let you get anywhere near my husband's best friend. They're having a good time, and you'll only bog down the mood. Quit yapping and go on your blind date like a good little girl.
What?
Anyway, I'm gonna get myself a fish taco, so toodles. Be sure to send our parents my regards too, Tilda.
AF Terrace that.
In the end, Brittany did go on that blind date that our parents had set up for her. And it seems they wound up getting married. But as it turns out, this old guy was a horrible selfish manchild. Once the marriage was put in the public records and he moved in, he started showing his true colors. From what I heard, he initially acted like a humble and good-natured old man. But in exchange for paying off the loan and living expenses, he basically treats the 3 of them like his personal servants. They have to do his every bidding. My parents were unhappy with the new situation they'd found themselves in. They begged for us to return. Just when we thought we had a new son-in-law as nice as Zach. He wasn't what we thought he was, so please come back. They sent us a number of panicked messages like that. But of course, we've been ignoring them. Whether my parents' house gets taken over or not and how that plays out, to those of us who have no plans of ever going back.